I was just running out the door for a meeting, a business meeting. Ganesha reminded me about a promise that I had made to you that I would do a second video on Ganesha on the 14th moon. As I mentioned earlier, this was a secret that was revealed to me through the sacred Nadi scriptures by Agastya. The revelation was the 14th moon is more sacred than the fourth moon for Ganesha. What happens is in the Indian uh, mysticism and theology, time is very important. The moon's position is important because the moon affects us, not only the brain, but also the body as well. Not, not just the brain and the body, but also everything is affected by the moon. And the 14th moon is the moon that can bring Ganesha to you. And for those of you who want to know more about Ganesha from the scientific standpoint, I have done a lot of videos as early as as last year's, not this year's Ganesha's birthday, the last year's Ganesha's birthday. I did a series of YouTube videos on Ganesha and mathematics, Ganesha and the anterior cingulate, Ganesha and the hippocampus. All these things are important for modern contemporary students of Ganesha to have a better understanding of who Ganesha is, just not a mythological character. But he's very much alive, and I also mentioned sometime that Mumbai's prosperity is due to Ganesha because it's not only a financial capital, it's also an intellectual capital where new businesses thrive, and then it's an international city as well. So now the 14th Ganesha moon brings a lot of energy that affects the brain, affects the body, and also affects your fortune, and also stops your misfortunes as well. So I wanted to mention a few things that Agastya told me about the 14th moon. He said that it is closer to the time that you can experience the extremes of the full moon or the new moon, which are associated with specific energy patterns. The new moon for a mystical experience, and the full moon for abundance. And the 14th moon is on the threshold of it. And Ganesha, blessing is available on this day, provided you invite him with the Dhurva grass, not Dhurva grass. Dhurva grass is the Bermuda grass, as it is called at least in the United States. And the secret is the grass carries a chemical, and that chemical is everything. And we don't really go deep and understand what can a chemical do for us or represent. Like there is an experience of joy, or an experience of stress, or experience of sleep. All these are chemicals. Cortisol or ACTH, or stress hormones. And then there is dopamine, there is which gives you experience of joy, or the melatonin, just gives you sleep, and then oxytocin, the hormone, I don't know if I pronounce it right or not, which is a hormone associated, oxytocin, that is associated with sexual feelings. Now, what I'm trying to highlight is chemicals give you experience, joy, pleasure, anger. The amygdala, for instance, uh, is associated with fear and, and is responsible for sending signals of fear and then secrete appropriate hormones. Not only the chemicals give you experience, subjective experience of joy, fear, anger, etc., but they are also power. Chemicals are power. Look at hydrogen, the hydrogen bomb. It's a chemical. So I'm talking at length about these chemicals because Bermuda grass is a chemical, and I mentioned in an earlier video, in my lab in India, we are trying to identify the molecule in the Bermuda grass because I have been told will heal a lot of diseases and can boost immunity and like reduce the sugar in the blood and so forth. So the time is also an important component or factor to access the maximum power of the chemical. 14th moon is a time where the chemical within the Ganesha grass is very active, and that's my hypothesis, or a different way of representing that. And so we want to use that. So it is one thing to say that this grass is sacred to Ganesha and on the 14th moon, but it is also another thing to explain it properly by talking about chemicals and the relationship between a certain chemical becoming powerful at a certain time, because there is a subject called chronopharmacology. A friend of mine was a chronopharmacologist in the psychiatric division of the University of Pittsburgh Medical School. And he studied how the same medicine works differently at different times, the nocturnal and diurnal rhythms. That was his study. And he introduced me to chronopharmacology, and I said, okay, you had to go back, and if time can impact on the chemicals, and why don't we look at like Yamakanta and Siddha Yoga and Marana Yoga and all these times impact on the chemicals. So if you use Ganesha grass on that day, on the 14th moon, that will bring you a lot of blessings, health blessings, fortune. So I asked my staff to offer a service on the day so that those of you who can get Ganesha grass, or you can order a service at appropriate temples in India, sacred for Ganesha. So although we are running out of time because it's already the 10th moon in the United States, so I thought I would do this. I would take some time and do this video so that you could benefit from that. That will be a third video coming where I will talk further revelations that I received from Agastya on Ganesha. So I'm very grateful to Ganesha for revealing this secret and using me as a vehicle to get his wisdom to the world. God bless.